Chapter 35:18. The dark sphere hovered above the castle, radiating with a dark glow. Ka ka ka! At this moment, a drastic change took place in the sky. The skulls hovering in the air surged towards the dark sphere in a frenzy. At the same time, the dark energy attacked Wang Xian. Rumble, rumble, rumble! The horrifying energy and aura made Wang Xian narrow his eyes. Swoosh! He flapped his unbeginning sacred wings and dodged the attacks of the dark energy easily. However, the energy seemed to have the ability to track him. They formed a circle and bombarded towards Wang Xian. Boom! More than a dozen dark spheres surrounded Wang Xian and exploded, charging towards Wang Xian, who was in the middle, attacking the lair of a spell formation sorcerer. How troublesome! Wang Xian shook his body and wrapped himself with layers of defense. The Aqua Tentacle King also released its defense. If Wang Xian was the only one defending against the attack, he would definitely be injured. This attack was equivalent to 3 Wang Xian attacking at the same time. Wang Xian's current advantage was his speed. In terms of defense, he was still on par with others of the same level. Even when facing a blanket attack, he was still helpless. However, he had the Aqua Tentacle King by his side, the existence that was once the true universe dominator. Both of their defenses formed around them, and withstood the attack of the spell formation with ease. How dare you come over? I'll bury you here today! Die! At this moment, Sorcerer Li, whose head was glowing in golden light, charged over and roared furiously. Golden radiance radiated from his eyes and shrouded Wang Xian. TSK! How dare you try to kill me with a curse? Today will be the end of your Diablo sorcerer tribe! Wang Xian snorted coldly. The dark ghost doppelganger appeared and attacked Sorcerer Li. The doppelganger of a Third-Order Universe Lord was not at a disadvantage against a Third-Order Universe Lord. Ling Ling! Wang Xian roared. His companion spirit, Ling Ling, appeared beside him. She flapped her tiny wings and held the water lotus staff. Banish! Ling Ling looked at the surrounding darkness, and waved her staff to form a space. In this space, Wang Xian realized that he could move a little faster. TSK, a companion spirit! The Water Tentacle King couldn't help but look at Ling Ling. She flew to the side from Wang Xian's side and enlarged her body by about 10 meters. She waved her tentacles in the air. There was no aura of a giant star beast on her body, and no one would associate her with a giant star beast. Kill! Wang Xian made a move and attacked the castle directly. At this moment, a gigantic skull flew out from the dark sphere above the castle. This skull was formed from countless smaller skulls. It was over 10,000 meters wide, and it contained darkness and flames. How dare you invade my Diablo Precantator clan? Die! It roared and charged towards Wang Xian and the rest. Dragon King, leave this guy to me. The Water Tentacle King roared, and its tentacles lashed out at the huge skull. Star behemoths didn't have divine kingdoms. Their fleshly bodies were their strongest asset. They used their physical bodies as their divine kingdoms and possessed strange innate abilities and great power. Roar! The skull roared and spat out black flames that shrouded the Water Tentacle King. Puny sorcerer, I'll kill you today! The Water Tentacle King roared and specks of water energy appeared on one of her tentacles. Her tentacles extended rapidly and drilled into the pupils of the skull. How big was the Water Tentacle King at her peak? It was no exaggeration to say that it was the size of a dozen stars. When her tentacles extended, they could reach hundreds of millions of kilometers. She was an invincible existence. Although she hadn't recovered from her serious injuries, she still possessed the realm and combat strength of a sovereign. The tentacles passed through the flames easily and were protected by the specks of water energy. Boom! While the Water Tentacle King was fighting the skull, Wang Xian flapped his primordial sacred wings and arrived above the castle instantly. His dragon tail appeared behind him and swept across. Rumble! In an instant, more than half of the castle collapsed. Not good. 3 Third-Order Universe Sovereigns. That demonic beast is terrifying. At the same time, the leader of the Diablo Precantator tribe in the center of the castle was shocked when he saw Li being pinned down by the demonic beast and Wang Xian's attack. In the name of the Skeleton King, in the name of the Skeleton Father, I summon you, Skeleton Core, to destroy the enemy. The leader of the Diablo Precantator tribe looked terrible. He lifted his head and raised the skeleton staff in his hand. His body rose slowly and he chanted loudly. Swoosh! As he chanted and the energy in his body shrouded the area below, the entire world seemed to have awakened and undergone earth-shattering changes. Below him, slumbering skeletons emerged one after another. There was no end to them. The skeleton tribe was most proficient in army tactics. Zerg tribe tactics. Different from the Angel Corps, their numbers were much larger. Within a radius of hundreds of millions of kilometers, there were skeletons everywhere. They emerged from the skeletons below and their palms were emitting a strange black luster. Huh! Wang Xian looked down and narrowed his eyes when he saw the skeletons below. Real skeletons! If an ant wanted to bite an elephant to death, it had to break through the elephant's defense first. The weak wanted to fight the strong, and so did the strong. However, the true skeleton clan possessed a special ability called armor break. Their bodies could easily penetrate powerful defenses. Because they were skeletons, they had the ability to corrode and sharpen. The sea of skeletons from the skeleton tribe was extremely difficult to deal with. When their numbers reached a certain level, they could even kill those stronger than them. Wang Xian did not expect the leader of the Diablo Precantator tribe to have a sea of skeletons. No wonder there were no other castles around his castle. No wonder this place looked so empty. It turned out that there was a skeleton core below. 9 Dragons Great Array, destroy! However, just as the group of skeletons appeared, the heavenly array had already been set up. He swept a glance at the surrounding skeletons and the array descended. Above the Diablo Precantator tribe, 9 divine dragons descended and swept towards the sea of skeletons. Each divine dragon had a body that spanned millions of kilometers and exuded terrifying dragon might. As the dragon's tail swept across, countless skeletons were annihilated. Chapter 35:19. Boom boom boom! Walala! The moment the sea of skeletons appeared, it suffered a devastating blow. The sea of skeletons was definitely a powerful trump card of the Diablo Precantator Patriarch. However, no matter how powerful a trump card was, could it fight against 2 or 3 third-order universe sovereigns? No way! His sea of skeletons could at most fight against 1 third-order universe sovereign. However, the sea of skeletons was in trouble against the heavenly array. Coincidentally, the sea of skeletons appeared. Coincidentally, the heavenly array was completed. 9 divine dragons wreaked havoc, killing countless skeletons. How is this possible? You actually have an expert, an array sorcerer. The patriarch of the Diablo Precantator Patriarch was stunned when he saw the terrifying attack and roared in fear. There was an array sorcerer, and from the looks of it, the sorcerer was no weaker than him. Facing such a powerful enemy, his body trembled. Each of these enemies was more heaven-defying than the other. He was in his lair with all kinds of arrays and treasures. In addition to Li's existence, he was confident that he could withstand 4 or 5 third-order universe sovereigns. However, the other party only had 4 people, and they were completely suppressed. I'm not their match! The patriarch of the Diablo Precantator Patriarch roared with an ugly expression. With a wave of his hand, a skull horn appeared in his hand. A wave of energy was injected into the horn. Woo woo woo! A deep and distant sound resounded in the Diablo Precantator clan's territory. All the experts and disciples in the Diablo Precantator clan heard it clearly. Someone is invading our Diablo Precantator clan. The horn came from the Patriarch. Enemies have infiltrated the Patriarch's territory. All disciples, charge! At this moment, the experts of the Diablo Precantator clan soared into the sky and flew towards the Patriarch's castle. Although the other party is stronger, with all the experts and disciples of my Diablo Precantator clan together, we can still resist them. The Diablo Precantator clan patriarch thought to himself with an ugly expression. He didn't believe that all the experts and disciples of the Diablo Precantator clan could not resist the other party. As for whether the Diablo Precantator clan would suffer heavy losses, this was no longer something he could consider. The Diablo Precantator clan's patriarch's divine kingdom was here, so he could not escape. Moreover, he would not be able to escape. The other party had a sorcerer who could use a spell formation to track him. Crash! Just as he was deep in thought, a figure suddenly broke through his castle and attacked him. Damn it, this speed is too fast! When the patriarch of the Diablo Precantator clan saw this, his expression changed drastically. He waved the staff in his hand, and it turned into a death scythe that shrouded the surroundings. Attacking indiscriminately was to deal with this terrifying speed. Lingling, defend! He let out a low roar and released his defensive power. Immediately, Lingling released pieces of leaves and attached them to Wang Xian. Wang Xian ignored the other party's attack and charged towards the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan. He could sense that the patriarch of the Diablo Precantator clan was not very strong in terms of physical body. Not good, what the hell is that thing beside him? Seeing that Wang Xian was still charging towards him, the leader of the diabolical sorcerer clan had a drastic change in his expression as he stared fixedly at Lingling. Companion spirit? What kind of enemy did they provoke? Their trump cards were so many that it made one's hair stand on end. Source of curses, devil's corpse! He let out a low growl and roared loudly. From below, the dark corpse floated up slowly. Without any hesitation, the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan dived into the devil's corpse. Gradually, the face of the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan appeared on the devil's corpse. What's this? It actually strengthened the physical body of the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan. Wang Xian stared at it. Suddenly, he felt a dreadful power from the dark corpse. However, the integration of the body of the Diablo Precantator clan with it only strengthened the physical body a little. The other changes were not that significant. He raised his guard and his figure flickered. Hula! With a flap of the unbeginning saint wings, he instantly appeared beside the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan and clawed at it. Hula! The dragon claw landed on it and immediately made a huge cut. Boundless darkness, ghost seal! The leader of the Diablo Precantator clan had a drastic change of expression as his body flew to the side. He steadied himself and his scythe turned into a staff. A ghost seal struck at Wang Xian. Hula! Wang Xian's figure flickered again and appeared on the other side of the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan. Towering dragon horn! He let out a low growl and a dragon horn struck at him. Bam! The dragon horn struck him once again, causing him to spurt out blood and his body to crack open gradually. He hurriedly unleashed waves of energy to envelop his surroundings. Ha! He dived into the dark corpse and only his defensive strength increased a little. Other than that, there aren't any other changes? Wang Xian was a little puzzled and kept his guard up. I'd like to see what trump cards you have up your sleeves. Flapping the unbeginning saint wings, Wang Xian pushed his speed to the limit and bombarded the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan with continuous attacks. Faced with Wang Xian's speed, the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan could not resist at all. All he could do was protect his body with all his energy and resist continuously. However, under the intensive attacks, the defense on his body began to crack bit by bit. Fresh blood continued to flow out of his body. His aura was getting weaker and weaker. At this moment, the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan felt a little hopeless. He had integrated the inborn cardinal treasure, the source of curses, into his body. The only effect was to increase his defensive strength a little. There was no other use for it. This was not how the devil's corpse should be used. His opponent's speed and strength made him feel hopeless. Now, he couldn't even escape from his opponent's speed. It's over, it's all over. Dragon breath of life! Wang Xian continuously attacked the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan. When he sensed the weakening aura, he released his strongest attack. No! The leader of the Diablo Precantator clan felt the horrifying attack and roared in despair. The dragon breath of life hit him and his body collapsed immediately. Wang Xian had a doubtful look in his eyes. Did he die so easily? Huh! However, at this time, he saw the corpse of the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan coming out from the collapsed dark corpse. The wounds on the dark corpse were slowly healing. However, the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan was indeed dead. This scene made Wang Xian a little surprised again. His gaze fell on the dark corpse and his eyes flickered. His body condensed into an illusory figure and walked over to investigate. This is a treasure? An inborn cardinal treasure! Soon, he gained some confidence from the dark corpse and his eyes were burning with passion. Chapter 35:20. Innate cardinal treasure. It's actually an innate cardinal treasure. Wang Xian moved and came to the side of the inborn cardinal treasure in an instant. He stared at the black corpse with a burning gaze. Connate cardinal treasures were the top weapons in the universe. The heavenly Yuan fortune treasure only existed in legends. Even true universe rulers would find it difficult to possess connate cardinal treasures. For example, the entire Diablo Precantator clan only had one connate cardinal treasure. The Diablo Precantator clan was much stronger than the 100 Cities Alliance. Only a relatively powerful high-level race would possess a connate cardinal treasure, so one could imagine how precious it was. The source of curses, the devil's corpse. Wang Xian sized up the inborn cardinal treasure as his eyes flickered. That was the name of the connate cardinal treasure. Wang Xian had also sensed some of the functions of this inborn cardinal treasure. I was almost cursed to death because of the devil's corpse's ability. It's too strange, Wang Xian murmured. Just a single thunderbolt from him had almost taken his life. If there was a piece of flesh, wouldn't it be able to directly destroy him? How could someone of the same level block it? It was practically killing without leaving a trace. It was a pity that Wang Xian could not use this innate cardinal treasure. This required the ability of a sorcerer. He couldn't use it yet. Furthermore, due to the fact that it was a connate cardinal treasure, the Taiji Dragon Plate was unable to absorb it. Because it was too strange and too powerful, Wang Xian kept it. No! Right at this moment, another miserable cry sounded out. Wang Xian looked over and saw the Water Tentacle King joining forces with his dark ghost doppelganger to kill the Third Order Sovereign from the Diablo Precantator clan. The remaining two Third Order Sovereigns of the Diablo Witchcraft clan were annihilated. This brought a smile to his face. How dare you invade our Diablo Precantator clan? You're courting death. Lord Li! At this moment, the experts and disciples of the Diablo Precantator clan slowly rushed over. Leading them were 22nd Order Sovereign Realm Magi. They arrived just in time to see their Lord Li being killed. Seeing this scene, their expressions changed drastically. What a coincidence! Heaven Array swept his gaze across them. With a wave of his arm, a series of arrays shrouded over them. Run, run, run! Lord Li and the others are dead, and the clan leader is also in danger. Run! Run! Feeling the power of the heavenly array's attack, the Diablo Precantator clan's disciples who rushed over were completely dumbfounded. MD? Why? Why did the Patriarch call them over? Was he trying to court death? Lord Li was killed, and the clan leader's aura could no longer be sensed. There were only 3 terrifying enemies with the combat strength of a Third Order Universe Sovereign. What was he doing here if he didn't escape? Waiting for death? When they came, they were not as fast as when they fled. Imprison him! The Water Tentacle King roared. All of you stay here! Her body shook, and wisps of mist spread out in all directions. After the mist enveloped the entire world, it was as if the entire world had been frozen. What kind of strange ability is this? The expert of the Diablo Precantator clan, who was shrouded by it, trembled and his face was filled with fear. The rest of the people didn't pay any attention to them and ran for their lives. Of the 22nd Order Sovereigns, 10 of them were shrouded by the mist, and they struggled violently. It was as if they had fallen into a swamp, and it was extremely difficult for them to move even a single step. Still too weak. More than half of them managed to escape. The Water Tentacle King wasn't very satisfied with its attack. Water Tentacle King, you're already very powerful. Tianjin looked at the terrifying attack with respect in his eyes. With such strength, he definitely wasn't a match for the Water Tentacle King. The innate ability of the cosmic beast was too powerful. Tianjin moved and killed the 10 experts of the Diablo Precantator clan. Other than that, there were dozens of First-Order Universe sovereigns, as well as sorcerers below that level. There were over 100,000 of them. Tianjin killed them easily and placed them in the Dragon Palace. This was another huge amount of resources. Ha ha ha, Dragon King, killing them was a piece of cake. The Water Tentacle King laughed heartily as it flew towards Wang Xian. In the battle just now, when the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan died, the condensed skull automatically lost its combat strength. This was also the reason why the Water Tentacle King could free up its hands to kill sorcererily. The leader of the Diablo Precantator clan has also been killed. Search this place and see if there are any treasures, Wang Xian said to him. Yes, Dragon King. Leave this to me. The Water Tentacle King's eyes were burning with passion as it began to search. The lair of the Diablo Precantator clan wouldn't be lacking in treasures. After all, such a force was much stronger than the 100 Cities Alliance. Dragon King, there's a God's Nation here. Soon, the Water Tentacle King discovered the God's Nation of the Diablo Precantator clan below, and shouted at Wang Xian. All the treasures should be in his God's Nation. Wang Xian looked around and immediately flew towards the Water Tentacle King's location. Swish! At this time, Tianjin also flew over. Below the palace, there was an entrance. Below the entrance was an incomparably huge God's Nation. At this moment, the energy of the God's Nation was a little dim. The Water Tentacle King had already entered. He entered directly, and immediately sensed a majestic energy coming towards him. The God's Nation of the leader of the Diablo Precantator clan. The entire God's Nation wasn't huge, but it wasn't small either. It was about the same size as the castle above. There were many precious divine herbs and divine trees planted in the land of Devil Bones. Dragon King, the treasury is here! The Water Tentacle King's voice was heard. Wang Xian immediately flew over and came to the front of the treasury. They entered the treasure vault and scanned the interior. So many innate spiritual treasures. Most of them are of the darkness attribute. These dozen innate cardinal treasures should be enough to upgrade the Tai Chi Dragon Plate. He mumbled to himself. He continued to walk in. Other than weapons, there were also some very unique treasures. There were even high-tech mechas here. The energy and aura emitted from the mechas were comparable to a First-Order Universe ruler. Her? What a coincidence! At this time, a familiar energy came to him. Sensing this energy, he walked over immediately. On the right side of the table, there was a blood-red skeleton leg and 4 blood-red fingers. This skeleton leg was obviously the same as the pink skeleton that Wang Xian had obtained before. He had not expected the Diablo Precantator clan to have a part of the pink skeleton. This part was a very precious treasure to the Red Bones of the Spirit Demon clan. According to them, if they could gather all the parts of the pink skeleton, they might be able to open the door to the Universe Lord Realm. Chapter 35-21. A skeleton leg and 4 skeleton fingers. TSK, Ling Hongdu might be able to advance to the Universe Lord Realm if she gets these. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled as he looked at the pink skeleton parts. He kept them and prepared to make a trip to the spirit demon race later. If Ling Hongdu could advance to the Universe Lord Realm, she might be a powerful ally in the future. Looking around, Wang Xian and the rest found another Third-Order Universe Sovereign Realm Devil Skeleton. Wang Xian's eyes lit up with excitement. With a Third-Order Universe Sovereign Devil Skeleton and over 20 darkness-attributed innate spiritual treasures, the Tai Chi Dragon Plate had a 100% chance of breaking through. At that time, no one below the Universe Lord realm would be able to injure Wang Xian unless they had innate cardinal treasures. Dragon King, I found many things regarding the sorcerers. Tianjin was excited to find many treasures related to the sorcerer's inheritance. Keep them. Also, this. Wang Xian waved his arm and threw the innate cardinal treasure to him. Source of curses, devil corpse. This was the only innate cardinal treasure in the Dragon Palace, and it was suitable for Tianjin. Moreover, Wang Xian had an idea. When he fought with others, as long as he injured his opponent and obtained some blood, he could throw it into the Dragon Palace. At that time, Tianjin could curse and kill his opponent directly. That was too terrifying. Huh! When Tianjin saw the innate cardinal treasure, his eyes lit up with excitement. He sensed it carefully, and was slightly excited. Thank you, Dragon King! Tianjin shouted excitedly. Hee, keep it. Only you are suitable to use it in the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian chuckled and looked around. He realized that many treasures had been kept by the Water Tentacle King. Water Tentacle, you can keep the treasures that can help you recover. But for the useless ones, hand them all over. Hee, great! The Water Tentacle King replied with a smile. Also, find the divine country of the other third-order sovereign realm expert. Wang Xian instructed Tianjin. Yes, Dragon King! Tianjin replied immediately. Wang Xian scanned the surroundings and checked his gains this time. He was satisfied. Since there were 2 third-order sovereign corpses, Wang Xiaolong should be able to obtain 2 third-order sovereign divine kingdoms. Adding them together, the Dragon Palace would have 3 third-order sovereigns with the combat power of a third-order sovereign. There were also 10 second-order universe sovereigns' corpses. He was still preparing to produce a third-order universe sovereign realm expert. In total, there were 4 of them. Including Wang Xian, the Aqua Tentacle King, and Tianjin, there would be a total of 7. Wouldn't it be easy for 7 of them to destroy the 100 Cities Alliance? The corner of his mouth curled up slightly. After collecting all the treasures, Sky Formation and the Water Tentacle King went to deal with the Diablo Precantator tribe, search for God's nation, and go to other castles to see if there were any treasures. He took out a teleportation item and crushed it. A moment later, he appeared in the Great Hall of the Spirit Demon tribe. Greetings, Dragon King! Seeing Wang Xian's appearance, the guards in the Spirit Demon tribe main hall greeted him with unusual respect. After a few consecutive visits, Wang Xian had given Ling Honggu several parts of the pink skeleton and a soul return embryo fruit. The Spirit Devil King had already given the order for Wang Xian to be respectful the next time he came. Brother, please inform the Spirit Devil King, Wang Xian said to the expert from the Spirit Demon tribe. Yes, Lord Dragon King. The expert from the Spirit Demon tribe nodded and immediately flew out. Ha ha ha, Brother Wang Xian, welcome again. The Spirit Devil King appeared in the Great Hall quickly. He looked at Wang Xian with flickering eyes. Ever since he knew that Wang Xian belonged to the Dragon Palace, he had been paying close attention to the war between the Dragon Palace and the 100 Cities Alliance. He naturally knew that the Dragon Palace had a third-order universe sovereign expert. Now that he saw Wang Xian, he could vaguely sense that this third-order universe sovereign expert was the Dragon King, the one in front of him. This made his heart tremble. Not long ago, he was still a second-order universe sovereign expert. Now he had broken through? And even the 100 Cities Alliance leader was no match for him? His talent and potential were too strong. Spirit Devil King, sorry to disturb you. Wang Xian cupped his fists towards the Spirit Devil King. He was very respectful towards him. After all, he had once dared to protect him under the pressure of the sacred dragon bloodline. Who would have expected Brother Wang Xian to make another breakthrough in such a short period of time? You're much stronger than me. The Spirit Demon King looked at Wang Xian and chuckled. I'm just lucky. Wang Xian smiled humbly. Oh yes, Sir Spirit Demon King, I've gotten some more parts of the pink skull. As he spoke, he took out the pink skeleton leg and 4-finger bones. When they saw Wang Xian take out 5 parts of the pink skull, they were shocked. He was completely dumbfounded. This? Little brother Wang Xian, you got so many again. This? He found it somewhat inconceivable. He had always issued missions to the spirit demons to search for pink skull parts. In the end, after hundreds of millions of years, they only found a pink skull. However, Wang Xian managed to get one every few years. This time, it was even more outrageous. He got a skeletal leg and 4-finger bones. This caused him to feel slightly incredulous. I'm just lucky. Wang Xian chuckled again and said, Good luck? This was good luck? The Spirit Demon King did not probe further. He looked at Wang Xian and sighed. I'll thank you on behalf of my daughter. Little brother Wang Xian, follow me. The Spirit Demon King hesitated for a moment before speaking to Wang Xian. All right. Wang Xian nodded. The Spirit Demon King waved his arm and brought him to the back of the spirit demons. Soon, they came to a humongous building. It was made up of a humongous skeleton. In the land of devil bones, there was no place of paradise. The Spirit Demon King brought him into the skeleton and flew downwards. Soon after, the Spirit Demon King came to a teleportation formation and dripped a drop of blood into it. When the blood merged with the teleportation formation lit up. Such a teleportation formation could only be activated by those with a specific bloodline. The Spirit Demon King looked at Wang Xian and the two of them stepped in. Wang! The next moment, the scene changed and they came to an underground palace. In front of them, there was a pile of skeletons burning in flames. Ling Honggu sat quietly in the sky above the flames. At that moment, her head, her body, and her right leg were all in the shape of a red skeleton. Chapter 35:22 Ling Honggu was above the skeleton's flames. Her head and legs looked a little strange upon closer inspection. They seemed to be fused together through a special method. Waves of strong and mysterious energy enveloped her body as flames and darkness fused together. However, the energy in her body was a little unstable. Sensing the arrival of someone, she opened her eyes and looked at her father and Wang Xian with a surprised look. Father, Wang Xian, why are you guys here? She moved and landed in front of them, shouting with a smile on her face. Wang Xian smiled and nodded at her. I brought little brother Wang Xian here. This time, he brought the parts of the pink skull. As the Spirit Demon King spoke, he moved his palm and the parts appeared in front of Ling Honggu. This, together with the pink skeleton's legs, I'm just short of 2 arms. Ling Honggu looked at Wang Xian with astonishment. She cupped her fists and said, Thank you, Wang Xian. You're welcome. I was lucky to get the parts of the pink skeleton. Wang Xian shook his head. However, I'm afraid I won't be so lucky to get the last part. You've already helped me a lot. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to get even ahead. Ling Honggu said gratefully. Oh yes, father. I've obtained some inherited memories. A very powerful memory inheritance. At this moment, she looked at her father and said excitedly, Powerful inheritance? The Spirit Demon King's eyes were burning with passion as he asked, What powerful inheritance? The inheritor is the previous owner of this pink skeleton. She's called Scarlet Queen. She has both the fire and darkness attributes. According to the inheritance memories I obtained, she was an invincible existence in the 9th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. Ling Honggu said excitedly. What? This caused the Spirit Demon King to tremble slightly. His eyes were filled with excitement. Then, Honggu, do you have confidence in breaking through to the Universe Ruler Realm? This is still a little difficult. Ling Honggu frowned and shook her head. Queen Scarlet is a human expert. I've obtained her pink skeleton body, but it's not complete. Moreover, it's been worn down by countless years and catastrophes. Most importantly, I don't have the bloodline of Queen Scarlet. Bloodline? When the Spirit Demon King heard this, his face sank. But father, even so, my chances of breaking through to the Universe Sovereign Realm are much higher than before. Moreover, Wang Xian has brought these parts with him this time. After I fuse them with my inheritance, I can kill third-order universe sovereigns in an instant, Ling Honggu said confidently. Good, I'm content. Spirit Demon King smiled. If you have Queen Scarlet's bloodline, do you have the confidence to break through to the universe ruler realm? Upon hearing Ling Honggu's words, Wang Xian pondered deeply. Ling Honggu looked at him with astonishment. Wang Xian, you have the bloodline of Queen Scarlet? No. Wang Xian shook his head. It's just an attempt. I'm not sure if it will succeed. Is that even possible? How are you so powerful? Ling Honggu was stunned again when he heard this. Having found so many pink skeleton parts, and now being able to create the Scarlet Queen's bloodline, it was somewhat omnipotent. Brother Wang Xian has already broken through to the Third Order Universe Sovereign Realm. The Spirit Demon King was also shocked. He looked at Wang Xian in surprise and anticipation. Brother Wang Xian, you really have a way. If my daughter can give birth to the bloodline of Queen Scarlet, the Spirit Demon race will be eternally grateful. Once Ling Honggu could really awaken the Scarlet Queen's bloodline, she would definitely advance to the Universe Ruler Realm. In that case, the Spirit Demon race would be able to step into the realm of skeletons and become a member of the Pinnacle Skeleton race. I can give it a try. Wang Xian nodded his head. Given his current relationship with the Spirit Demon race, if Ling Honggu could break through to the Universe Ruler Realm, it would definitely be of great benefit to the Dragon Palace. He moved his palm, and a blood refinement fruit appeared in his hand. Devour it! Wang Xian said to Ling Honggu. This is... Ling Honggu looked at the fruit and felt a throbbing sensation in his body. Even the Spirit Demon King's eyes shone with a blazing luster. The blood refinement fruit was a fatal attraction to them. At the end of the day, the blood refinement fruit was the cause of the demise of the Diablo sorcerer race. If Wu Gui and the rest had not been attracted by the blood refinement fruit, they might not have offended a third-order universe ruler. The blood refinement fruit was definitely a precious treasure in the universe. The blood refinement fruit is also a precious fruit to me. It can refine the purest and strongest bloodline in my body, Wang Xian introduced as he handed it to Ling Honggu. Thank you, Wang Xian. Ling Honggu bowed slightly. At this moment, her head and body were in the form of a skeleton, and there was nothing beautiful about her. Of course, Wang Xian did not have any designs on her. Ling Honggu took it, placed it in her mouth, and swallowed it. Currently, the members of the Dragon Palace had not consumed the blood refinement fruit in Wang Xian's hands. Ling Honggu was the first to consume it. 1. A strong blood aura surged out from Ling Honggu's body. This blood aura carried a tinge of heat. Spirit Demon King stared intently at the side with a tinge of nervousness in his eyes. Scarlet! At this moment, a voice came from within Ling Honggu's body. This voice did not come from Ling Honggu. It seemed to come from another space. The meaning of the voice was scarlet. It was a word that no one could understand. 1. At this moment, a shadow gradually appeared. The shadow overlapped with Ling Honggu's skeletal body. It was the figure of a woman. She had her eyes closed and was wearing a blood-red dress that was extremely exquisite. Unparalleled beauty. The Queen of Ages. 2 words flashed across Wang Xian's mind when he saw the shadow. The shadow appeared for a brief moment before it disappeared into Ling Honggu's body. Dong! Dong! At this moment, a weak sound came from within Ling Honggu's body. Ling Honggu lowered her head and looked at her body. This is the sound of a heartbeat. It's your heart. Honggu, you have a heart! Spirit Demon King's excited voice came from the side. The Spirit Demon clan belonged to the Skeleton clan. It was just that there were some mutations. However, they were still from the Skeleton clan. Skeletons did not have hearts. No bloodline, no blood. Yet, Ling Honggu had developed a heart and was producing blood. Success? Success? As Wang Xian looked over, his eyes were filled with anticipation. Success! Ling Honggu looked at Wang Xian with excitement in her eyes. I've obtained more legacies. I'm the next Scarlet Queen! Chapter 35-23. Ling Hongdu had become the next Queen Scarlet. She had never imagined that she would actually obtain such a powerful inheritance. According to the inheritance memories in her mind, as long as she followed the cultivation method, she would become one of the top experts in the universe. Queen Scarlet was the eternal queen of the previous cataclysm. She was a rank 9 universe lord with unparalleled strength. All of this was because of the figure before her. He had helped her obtain the skull of the pink skeleton, gave her powerful treasures, and allowed her to develop a bloodline. Looking at Wang Xian in front of her, she was filled with gratitude. Other than her father, he might be the man who treated her the best. However, when she looked at her own skeletal body, she suppressed all her thoughts. Her heart had been born, and so would her bloodline. Her flesh and blood would grow rapidly. Success! Ha! Honggu, it's a success! The spirit demon race is going to rise! The spirit demon king roared with excitement, his body trembling with excitement. The inheritance of Queen Scarlet, the inheritance of a rank 9 universe lord. She had inherited her cultivation method, her skeleton, and now her bloodline. Now, Ling Hongdu was Queen Scarlet. She had 100% chance of breaking through to the universe lord realm. As for the missing hand bone, it could be born in the future when she had the bloodline. The important parts of her body, including the skull, torso, and legs, were no longer important. Congratulations! Wang Xian congratulated Ling Hongdu. He was now certain that as long as Ling Hongdu didn't die along the way, she would become a universe lord in the future. She would step into the ranks of the top races and become a universe lord. Thank you, Wang Xian! Thank you! Ling Hongdu bowed to Wang Xian again. I'll repay your kindness tenfold in the future. Everything is a coincidence. It's all fate. Wang Xian smiled. With the help of a universe lord in the future, it would be a huge force for the Dragon Palace. I'll look for you after I've condensed my bloodline and body. Ling Hongdu looked at him and said solemnly. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. I shall not disturb Miss Ling Hongdu's cultivation. As he spoke to Ling Hongdu, he glanced at the Spirit Demon King. If you have nothing to do, you can stay with the Spirit Demon tribe to cultivate. Hongdu will probably be able to condense her physical body soon. By then, her strength will be invincible in the universe supremacy realm, said the Spirit Demon King. No! Wang Xian shook his head. I still have to make a trip back to the Dragon Palace and wipe out the 100 Cities Alliance in an instant. Oh? The Spirit Demon King raised his eyebrows. Brother Wang Xian, if you want to annihilate the 100 Cities Alliance, let's help the Spirit Demon race. I'll lead some experts over. There's no need for that. I'm only going to destroy it because I'm confident. I don't need the help of the Spirit Demon race at all. I appreciate your kindness, Spirit Demon King. Wang Xian rejected with a smile. All right then. If you need any help, just let us know. If you need any treasures, we can also lend you our inborn cardinal treasures of the Spirit Demon tribe. The Spirit Demon King nodded and said with a smile. All right, if there's anything you need, I'll definitely ask. Goodbye. Wang Xian nodded his head. Wang Xian appreciated the kindness of the Spirit Demon King and the rest. The Spirit Demon King would personally bring people over to help? Borrow the inborn cardinal treasures? There was no need at all. This time, after Wang Xian annihilated the Diabolus clan, the number of Third-Order Universe sovereigns in the Dragon Palace would reach 7. This did not include his Nether Ghost doppelganger, Lingling, himself, the Aqua Tentacle King, and the Heavenly Array, who were far beyond the same level. To Wang Xian, annihilating the 100 Cities Alliance was a piece of cake. In a flash, Wang Xian disappeared and returned to the Dragon Palace in the next instant. The Spirit Demon King's eyes flickered when he saw Wang Xian disappearing. He's already confident of annihilating the 100 Cities Alliance. The Dragon Palace really doesn't understand him. The speed of improvement of Brother Wang Xian is really terrifying. The Spirit Demon King lamented. Ling Hongdu, who was at the side, remained silent. Buzz buzz! At this moment, the Spirit Demon King's Universe AI vibrated violently. When he opened it, his expression changed slightly. The Diabolus clan has been annihilated. When he read the content, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Huh! Father, the Diabolus clan has been annihilated? How? How is this possible?" Ling Honggu asked in astonishment. "They have indeed been annihilated. However, we don't know which force did it. The scene was wiped out by a powerful sorcerer. Only a Universe Lord would be able to find out." The Spirit Demon King nodded heavily as his eyes flickered. The Diabolus clan was a clan that was even stronger than the Spirit Demon clan. Yet, they were annihilated all of a sudden. The Diabolus clan and the Spirit Demon clan could be considered neighbors. They were both powerful forces in the land of Devil Bones. The Spirit Demon King was also a little shocked that they were annihilated all of a sudden. "Father, could it be the doing of Wang Xian and the Dragon Palace?" Ling Hongdu suddenly asked. She looked at her palm, which was the pink skull part that Wang Xian had given her. "The spiritual intelligence in the pink skull part that he gave me today was obviously wiped out. Moreover, he took out so many of them at once. Perhaps they were from the Diabolus clan's treasure vault." Ling Hongdu analyzed. The Spirit Demon King's eyes flickered. "It's highly possible, but I can't be sure. However, we should be able to see something from the Dragon Palace's intention to annihilate the 100 Cities Alliance. The annihilation of the Diabolus clan might be the doing of Wang Xian." This shocked the Spirit Demon King greatly. Once upon a time, the Dragon King still needed his protection. His current strength was enough to make him fearful. 1 month later, I'll annihilate the 100 Cities Alliance. Wang Xian muttered with a smile as he returned to the Dragon Palace. The harvest this time was too great. Let's upgrade the Tai Chi Dragon Plate first. Wang Xian moved his palm. A Universe Lord's Diabolus skeleton and over 20 darkness-attributed innate spiritual treasures appeared. The Tai Chi Dragon Plate revolved around him as Wang Xian threw the innate spiritual treasures into it, turning them into pure energy. While he was upgrading the Tai Chi Dragon Plate, the Heavenly Array Aqua Tentacle King and the rest returned. The resources of the Diabolus clan began to upgrade the strength of the experts of the Dragon Palace. First, Roving Heavens, Orochi, Roving Demon, and Lei Ming, the 4 leaders, upgraded their strength to the 3rd Order Universe Lord Realm. The rest of the resources were used to upgrade the strength of the Berserk Dragon, Arrow Dragon, and the rest. Rumble, rumble, rumble! Ha! Just as Wang Xian and the rest began to upgrade their strength, a maniacal laughter reverberated from the 100 Cities Peak. In the center of the 100 Cities Peak, the 100 Cities Alliance leader stood up slowly. His face was filled with excitement. Chapter 35-24. Just one more step. Just one more step and I will be able to break through my shackles. In the center of the 100 City Peak, the leader of the 100 City Alliance looked at his own body with fervent eyes. He was one step closer to the true Universe Dominator realm. Now, his head and body were completely covered in black scales. These were dragon scales of a purebred devil dragon. These dragon scales were the treasures he had obtained from the sacred dragon bloodline. At the same time, there were also large amounts of purebred devil dragon bloodline. This made his strength twice as strong as when he fought with Wang Xian previously. Now, he was confident that he could take on the Dragon Palace expert. Of course, if I take it out, I can easily kill him. The leader of the 100 City Alliance took out a talisman. It was a yellow talisman. The entire yellow talisman exuded a unique energy. When the yellow talisman appeared, the surrounding space seemed to be locked. There were 2 big words on the yellow talisman. One was heavy. The other was kill. Connate Cardinal Treasure. This was a very powerful Connate Cardinal Treasure. However, this was lent to him by the sacred dragon bloodline. In fact, this Connate Cardinal Treasure was not from the sacred dragon bloodline, but from the Angel Clan. Even for a force like the sacred dragon bloodline, it was rare for the entire clan to have 1 or 2 Connate Cardinal Treasures. How could they have spare connate cardinal treasures to lend to him? This time, if not for the sacred dragon bloodline being threatened by the Dragon Palace, they would not have lent him the connate cardinal treasure. Dragon-seeking ruler! The next moment, he waved his hand and another treasure appeared in his hand. A dragon-seeking ruler that exuded the power of light. On the dragon-seeking ruler, there was a divine dragon engraved with a light chain that completely restrained the divine dragon. It was said that this was a treasure forged by the great angel of the angel clan, specifically used to search for divine dragon experts with the divine dragon bloodline. The range of this dragon-seeking ruler was terrifying. Dragon Palace, your doomsday is here. I still lack the opportunity to break through. This opportunity might be the purebred divine dragon bloodline. The leader of the 100 City Alliance murmured. All experts above the Lord Realm of the 100 City Cosmos, come here! He bellowed, his voice reverberating throughout the 100 City Peak. The leader has given the order. Go! Are we going to start our revenge? One by one, the experts of the 100 cities flew towards the mountain peak in the center. Leading them were 35 second order sovereigns. Those at the universe ruler level and above, added together, there were over 300 of them. This was the full power of the 100 Cities Alliance, the power of every universe ruler and above. This power far surpassed the other forces. Even the Diablo Precantator race didn't have that many universe ruler level experts. Even if the Diablo Precantator clan and the Spirit Demon clan were added together, they did not have that many. This was mainly because the 100 Cities Alliance was an alliance of cities. Among the 100 cities, even the weakest one had a first-order sovereign realm expert guarding it. Needless to say, there was no need to mention the top-ranked cities. A total of close to 400 Universe Lord-level combatants flew over and arrived at the central main peak. They looked at the Alliance Master, who was covered in dragon scales and exuding a powerful aura, with awe and excitement in their eyes. Alliance Master, are we going to take action? Red Eyes stared at the Alliance Master and couldn't help but ask. Haha, that's right, our 100 Cities Alliance is going to take action. Within 10 years, we will destroy the Dragon Palace. The 100 Cities Alliance Master roared with laughter, his face filled with confidence. Alliance Master, we will be ready to fight at any moment, to destroy the Dragon Palace. A city lord's eyes burned with passion as he roared. Now that the Dragon Palace had forced them into this crowded 100-city peak, they were like stray dogs. Their greatest hope now was to destroy the Dragon Palace. It's coming soon. Get all the disciples and armies to prepare. A month later, we will begin the operation to destroy the Dragon Palace. The 100 Cities Alliance Master's face was filled with killing intent as he roared. Yes, Alliance Master! The city lords of the 100 Cities Alliance immediately roared. Announce this news to the world. Our 100 Cities Alliance is going to wipe away our humiliation. The 100 Cities Alliance Master roared. Alliance Master, are you confident? Hearing that they were going to announce this operation to the world, a city lord clenched his fists. I can easily kill that expert from the Dragon Palace. He won't be able to escape even if he wants to. The 100 Cities Alliance Master said confidently. Congratulations, City Lord, for your huge increase in strength. This time, we will definitely destroy the Dragon Palace. That City Lord immediately bowed excitedly. Congratulations, City Lord, for your huge increase in strength. This time, we will definitely destroy the Dragon Palace. The rest of the experts from the 100 Cities Alliance immediately roared loudly. Go and prepare. We will act in a month! The 100 Cities Alliance Master waved his hand, his face filled with intense confidence. With a Sciention treasure in hand, his strength had reached the pinnacle of the Universe Lord Realm. As long as it wasn't a Universe Lord Realm expert, the 100 Cities Alliance Master had the confidence to deal with him. Yes, Alliance Master! The group immediately moved, forming their armies and ordering their disciples. Very quickly, excited roars could be heard from the 100-city peak. We will definitely destroy the Dragon Palace. We will definitely destroy the Dragon Palace. The roars shook the heavens and earth. Very quickly, not long after, on the Universe AI, the 100 Cities Alliance Master announced. 1 month later, we will destroy the Dragon Palace. Just a few words, no other words. Directly announcing this matter, this showed the confidence of the 100 Cities Alliance. Oh? The 100 Cities Alliance Master actually announced that they will destroy the Dragon Palace? Where did they get their confidence from? One should know that not long ago, the 100 Cities Alliance Master was completely suppressed by the experts from the Dragon Palace. Yeah, why did they suddenly make such a statement? This is a statement that concerns their reputation, it's definitely not made casually. Could it be that they have the confidence to destroy the Dragon Palace? What do they have to destroy the Dragon Palace? How could they be so confident? Could it be that they still have a trump card? Since they made such a statement, they should be confident. The 100 Cities Alliance has a strong foundation. When the 100 Cities Alliance made the announcement, it immediately caused a huge commotion. Currently, even the war between the Sacred Dragon Bloodline and the Ancestral Dragon Bloodline was not as exciting as the war between the 100 Cities Alliance and the Dragon Palace. Every time the Dragon Palace made a move, the 100 Cities Alliance would suffer defeat after defeat. Now, it was time for them to retaliate? What other trump cards did they have? All the experts from the various forces were shocked. Boom! At the same time, at the location of the Dragon Palace, a wave of light and darkness force swept out. Wang Xian looked at the incomparably heavy Tai Chi dragon plate that was like an ink painting, and his eyes lit up. The Tai Chi dragon plate had a breakthrough. To be able to defend against the attacks of a third-order universe lord so easily, his strength had become even more insane. This brought a faint smile to his face. In a few more days, I will destroy the 100 Cities Alliance. Chapter 35-25 Dragon King! In the Dragon Palace, Prime Minister Turtle sensed Wang Xian's breakthrough and rushed over to greet him respectfully. How are Roving Heavens and the rest doing? Wang Xian asked with a smile when he saw Prime Minister Turtle. Dragon King, Roving Heavens and the rest need another 4 to 5 days to break through, Prime Minister Turtle said. All right, order the other disciples to annihilate the 100 Cities Alliance after Roving Heavens and the rest break through, Wang Xian said. Yes, Dragon King. Dragon King, there's something interesting. Take a look at the Universe AI. The 100 Cities Alliance has announced that they will annihilate the Dragon Palace in a month's time, Prime Minister Turtle said with a smile on his face. Huh! Wang Xian was taken aback as he switched on the Universe AI. When he saw the message released by the 100 Cities Alliance, his face was filled with astonishment. They're so confident? They can annihilate the Dragon Palace? Wang Xian pursed his lips with a smile in his eyes. He had yet to annihilate the 100 Cities Alliance, and the 100 Cities Alliance had announced that they would annihilate them. Who gave them such confidence? When I fought with the 100 Cities Alliance leader previously, he obviously knew that he wasn't as strong as me. How dare he be so arrogant? Wang Xian murmured as his eyes glistened. He must have a trump card to be so arrogant. Did the Sacred Dragon Bloodline help them? That was possible. The Sacred Dragon Bloodline was now the lackey of the Angel Clan. The Sacred Dragon Bloodline was not the only lackey of the Angel Clan. There were many other powerful clans. For example, the Heaven Plant Demonic Beast Clan that they had met previously. The Heaven Plant Demonic Beast Clan was also a very powerful clan. Perhaps the Sacred Dragon Bloodline saw that the Dragon Palace was too strong and requested help from the other clans. Sending 1 or 2 third-order sovereigns to help the 100 Cities Alliance annihilate the Dragon Palace? That was highly possible. Hee, the 100 Cities Alliance is really arrogant. I'd like to see how many helpers you have this time. Wang Xian chuckled. This time, the Dragon Palace had 7 third-order sovereigns. Wang Xian alone could handle 6 to 7 of them. The Aqua Tentacle King and Sky Formation could handle 2 to 3 of them. Moreover, Sky Formation had the innate treasure, the source of curses, Devil Corpse. Based on the current strength of the Sacred Dragon Bloodline, there will not be more than 2 who will come to help the 100 Cities Alliance, Prime Minister Turtle said with a smile. In terms of strength, the sacred dragon lineage was inferior to the ancestral dragon lineage. The reason why they were able to suppress the ancestral dragon bloodline was because they had the support of the angel race. Hence, when they fought with the ancestral dragon bloodline, they would definitely not send more than 2 third-order sovereigns. Otherwise, the sacred dragon bloodline wouldn't even need the 100 Cities Alliance to take action. They could just send their own people to destroy the Dragon Palace. After roving heavens and the rest make breakthroughs, we will immediately set off for the 100 Cities Alliance. We still have to wait for a month? Wang Xian said coldly. Originally, he had planned to wait for another month before making his move. Now, it seemed that there was no need for that at all. It's Dragon King! Prime Minister Turtle immediately replied. As the days passed, Ao Qitian, Ao Yao and the rest broke through very quickly. In the past few days, the Universe AI had been discussing about 100 cities. Many people were looking forward to how 100 cities would destroy Dragon Palace, and what other trump cards they had. All the forces were ready to enjoy the great battle. In their opinion, this was the final battle between the 100 Cities Alliance and the Dragon Palace. They were looking forward to it. Buzz. Buzz. However, just as the Universe AI was still discussing, at the location in front of 100 Cities Peak. It was an hour's flight from here to 100 Cities Peak. It wasn't near, but it wasn't far either. At this moment, figures gradually emerged from the ground. The number of figures gradually increased to millions. Each of them exuded a powerful aura. It was especially so for those eerie figures of light and darkness. The moment they appeared, they gradually disappeared. Hee hee! At the forefront, Wang Xian stood there quietly with a smile on his face. Dragon King, let's head over and seal off 100 Cities Peak. Tianjin and Roving Yao walked to Wang Xian's side and said respectfully. You guys head over first and seal off any incoming information. Wang Xian nodded his head and swept his gaze across the members of Dragon Palace behind him. Yesterday, Roving Heavens and Roving Yao had completed their breakthroughs. Today, he led the millions of experts of Dragon Palace through the dark flame teleportation array. Among the millions of disciples of Dragon Palace, the weakest was at the universe supremacy level. Among them, the strongest were the spiky dragons and venom-horned dragons. The spiky dragons had absorbed all the resources from several cities and were currently the strongest among the dragon species in Dragon Palace. Next to them were the witch dragons. They numbered 10,000. In addition, other than Wang Xian and the other third-order universe sovereigns, the number of second-order universe sovereigns in Dragon Palace had reached 36. Universe sovereigns. Their numbers had reached 100. This was in addition to the devouring dragon. This power was already a very powerful existence. Compared to the 100 Cities Alliance, the number of universe sovereigns was much lower. However, this was nothing. Yes, Dragon King! Tianjin and Roving Demon nodded. They immediately flew towards the 100 City Peak. They were both third-order universe sovereigns. It was enough for them to seal off the area. They didn't need the witch dragons and spiky dragons to follow them. On the contrary, if the spiky dragons and witch dragons followed them, they might alert the enemy and be discovered. It would be difficult for the two of them to be discovered. Once they sealed off the entire space, the 100 Cities Alliance wouldn't be able to escape to their own universe kingdom. Dragon King, it's been sealed! Half an hour later, Tianjin and Roving Yao sent a message. Wang Xian revealed a smile as he looked at the members of Dragon Palace behind him. Let's go. Today, we'll annihilate the 100 Cities Alliance! Wang Xian shouted. With a move, the unbeginning saint wings appeared behind him and a wave of energy enveloped all the disciples of Dragon Palace. Annihilate the 100 Cities Alliance! The group of Dragon Palace members roared as they flew forward immediately. With the help of Wang Xian's unbeginning saint wings, their speed was terrifying. They sped along the way. That is, along the way, a dozen figures were flying in the sky. They were shocked to see the experts of Dragon Palace flying in the direction of Baicheng Peak. What a powerful aura! What forces are they from? The dozen figures felt the aura of the dragon palace and were shocked. What a dense divine dragon aura! They are from the divine dragon lineage! An expert in the middle sensed and growled. Chapter 35-26. Dragon Palace. They should be members of Dragon Palace. They are heading to 100 City Peak. What are they going to do? Attack the 100 Cities Alliance? Her? Members of Dragon Palace? Brother, how did you know they are members of Dragon Palace? There's a type of divine dragon in Dragon Palace. It's the horrifying devil monkey. It's covered in dragon scales and is extremely violent in battle. I've seen them fighting with the bounty hunters of the 100 Cities Alliance. They are definitely members of Dragon Palace. Astonished voices came from the dozen of them. When they saw the Dragon Palace army disappearing from their sight, they looked at each other in astonishment. Should we go there and take a look? What's going on? One of them opened his mouth and couldn't help but ask. The faces of the other dozen people were filled with curiosity. I bought a high-tech telescope from the technology world not long ago. Why don't we take a look from a distance? A middle-aged man couldn't help but ask. Let's go and take a look. As long as we keep a distance, even if the Dragon Palace and the 100 Cities Alliance fight, we won't be affected. A middle-aged man said with radiance flickering in his eyes. All right. The dozen of them moved and immediately flew towards 100 City Peak. At the same time, Wang Xian and the group of experts and disciples of Dragon Palace approached 100 City Peak quickly. Wang Xian and the rest were very fast. With the help of the energy of the unbeginning sacred wings, they arrived at the front of 100 City Peak in about half an hour. At this moment, the 100 City Peak was still bustling with noise. Countless experts and disciples were gathered in the inner area. However, in the sky above, there were two legions sparring with each other. Both parties were attacking from afar. They were releasing long-range attacks and bombarding each other. This was a practice for the expedition to annihilate the Dragon Palace in 20 days. As the army had just been formed, they had to coordinate with each other skillfully. The sparring between armies would allow them to work together quickly. Down below, the disciples of the Endless 100 City raised their heads and looked up with admiration and respect in their eyes. Those who could enter the 100 City army were the elites of each city. It wouldn't be long before they set off to annihilate the arrogant Dragon Palace. 1. Just as they were practicing, the army of Dragon Palace gradually appeared at the east of 100 City Peak. At the same time, everything in Baicheng Peak was reflected in the eyes of the disciples of Dragon Palace. Wang Xian stared ahead with a cold gleam in his eyes. Hurry up and surround the 100 City Alliance! He let out a low roar and instantly increased his speed. Wang Xian's voice was loud and clear. Everyone in the 100 City Peak could hear it clearly. At this moment, even if Wang Xian didn't say anything, they had also noticed the arrival of the million-strong army of the Dragon Palace. Upon hearing Wang Xian's command, the Berserk Dragon, Imperial Dragon, Starwood Dragon, and Earthly Lightning Dragon and Earthly Fire Dragon and Phoenix roared and flew to the sides. They formed an encirclement formation and quickly flew over. In the middle, Wang Xian's eyes gleamed coldly. The Arrow Dragon species and the Witch Dragon were behind him and were rapidly approaching. The sudden arrival of the Dragon Palace army and their sudden roar silenced the entire 100 City Peak. Looking at the invading Dragon Palace army, they were dumbfounded. What was going on? Someone was attacking them? Wasn't the leader an expert from Dragon Palace? How dare they attack us? All the experts and disciples of the 100 City Alliance were shocked. Rumble! At this moment, the leader of the 100 City Alliance, who was on the central peak of the 100 City Peak, sensed the arrival of the Dragon Palace army through the array. Slightly taken aback, he flew out immediately. He hovered in the air and looked in the direction of the Dragon Palace army. Dragon Palace? He stared at Wang Xian with intense murderous intent. Dragon Palace, it's really you guys. I didn't annihilate you, but you guys came to die. Ha ha, great. Hee hee, 100 City Alliance leader, a loser. Today is the day you die. How dare you be so arrogant? Wang Xian stared at the leader of the 100-City Alliance with a mocking look. In a while, he would like to see how arrogant the other party could be. Die. You're the one who's going to die today. Just nice, we don't have to look for the bunch of vile dragons from Dragon Palace anymore. Today, we'll slaughter all of you. The leader of the 100-City Alliance sneered. He didn't know where Dragon Palace got its confidence from to attack them. But since the other party was here, he was confident that he could annihilate them completely. All experts and disciples of the 100-City Alliance, get ready to tear the disciples of Dragon Palace into pieces. The leader of the 100-City Alliance roared as he flew forward. Kill the enemies! Annihilate the bunch of vile dragons from Dragon Palace! Kill them all! Leave no one alive! Below, experts with Universe Lord level combat strength followed closely behind the leader of the 100-City Alliance. They stared at the million-strong army of Dragon Palace with murderous intent in their eyes. They had never expected the army of Dragon Palace to kill their way here. How could they? At this moment, they didn't back down. Their Alliance Master possessed terrifying combat power. All the forces of the 100-City Alliance were gathered here. How could they not be a match for Dragon Palace? One had to know that even the ancestral dragon bloodline had to take the Alliance seriously. The combat strength of 300 to 400 Universe Lord level combat strength was at the forefront among the advanced races. Since Dragon Palace was here to seek death, they would tear this group of enemies apart and suppress this bunch of vile dragons. Kill! 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 The experts and disciples of the 100-City Alliance roared as their eyes were filled with murderous intent. How dare a million-strong army go against their army of tens of millions? Their 100-City Alliance had tens of millions of disciples and all of them were elites. What did Dragon Palace have to compete with our elite army of tens of millions? All of them were brimming with sharpness. Hee hee! Wang Xian looked at them and revealed a faint smile. The 100-City Alliance was really confident. All disciples of Dragon Palace, kill them! Wang Xian saw them rushing to the edge of the 100-City Peak. Without further ado, he gave the order to attack. Kill! All the disciples of Dragon Palace roared. Wang Xian made a move and flew straight ahead. His eyes were fixed on the leader of the 100-City Alliance, and were filled with coldness. You're asking for death. Today, I'll fulfill your wish, vile dragons! The leader of the 100-City Alliance smiled eerily. With a flick of his palm, the staff appeared in his hand. He raised it high and the array of the entire 100-City Peak was activated. The 100-City Peak was his old nest that had been set up for billions of years. Chapter 35-27 Rumble, Rumble, Rumble. When the 100-City Alliance leader activated all the formations on the 100-City Peak, the 108 peaks immediately trembled. A shadow flew out from each peak. These phantoms slowly solidified, forming a terrifying mountain peak. On each peak, there was an innate spiritual treasure. At this moment, the aura emitted from each peak was exceptionally terrifying. The shadow of the largest peak in the center immediately came below the 100-Cities Alliance leader. He stood there, looking extremely terrifying. SSS, what a terrifying aura! It feels like any peak can crush us! A First-Order Sovereign Realm expert felt the terrifying 108 mountain peaks, and his face was filled with shock. Our Alliance leader is so strong! This is a place that our Alliance leader has been managing for billions of years. Here, our Alliance leader can fight against 2 to 3 people of the same level. The experts of the 100-Cities Alliance watched this scene with excitement on their faces. Die! Ha! The 100-Cities Alliance leader roared. With a wave of the magic staff in his hand, huge peaks charged towards Wang Xian and the Dragon Palace army. Destroy these peaks! Wang Xian let out a low growl. He flapped his unbeginning sacred wings and attacked the mountain peaks directly. Compared to the previous peaks, this one was even more terrifying because it was within the array. Wang Xian's attack power was similar to those of the same level. It would be troublesome for him to destroy the array. It's the Dragon King! It's the Dragon King! At the side, Roving Heavens and Roving Crab Laming let out a deep roar before charging towards the mountain peaks. Roar, roar, roar! They roared and transformed into the humongous devil monkey, devouring dragon, and lightning dragon. Rumble, rumble, rumble! At this moment, Wang Xian had already arrived in front of the peaks and punched them. The peaks that were solidified by the array exploded. Swish, swish, swish. At the same time, Dark Ghost's doppelganger snatched away the innate spiritual treasures on the peaks. 3 innate spiritual treasures were in his hands. Roar, roar! At this moment, Roving Heavens, Lei Ming, and Roving Crab also charged over. Roving Crab was not included in the advancement of the experts of the Dragon Palace. Roving Crab had devoured the god nation of a third-order sovereign realm expert. His breakthrough speed had exceeded Wang Xian's expectations. Ao Xie's current cultivation level had already reached the universe ruler realm. Unfortunately, because of his dragon species, he could only fight 2 realms above him. However, that wasn't important. What was important was that Ao Xie's combat strength was at the third-order universe sovereign realm. They rushed over and immediately bombarded the mountain peaks. Boom! In an instant, the mountains crumbled as they reached out to grab the connate numinous treasures. What? When Roving Crab, Roving Heavens, and Lei Ming made their moves, the 100-City Alliance leader revealed a shocked expression. It was the aura of a third-order universe sovereign. The Dragon Palace actually had 3 third-order sovereigns. Damn it, no wonder they dared to invade my 100-city peak. So they have something up their sleeves. 4 third-order sovereigns. Even if there are only 4 of them, I'll kill all of you today. The 100 Cities Alliance Master's eyes were bloodshot. On his chest, the darkness dragon scales slowly appeared and split open, revealing a pair of blood-red eyes. This Dragon Palace actually has 4 third-order universe sovereigns? Hiss, that's terrifying. However, our Alliance Master seems to be very confident. When everyone heard the Alliance Master's words and felt the aura of Roving Heavens, they were shocked. Fortunately, their Alliance Master was still brimming with confidence. Hee, very confident. Is it because you have experts too? A helper from the Sacred Dragon bloodline? Wang Xian stared at the 100-City Alliance leader with a mocking gaze. He was still so confident even after revealing the strength of 4 third-order universe sovereigns. It seemed like the 100-City Alliance leader had really gotten himself a powerful trump card. Helper? I alone can destroy all of you. The 100-City Alliance leader roared coldly as he stared at Wang Xian with bloodshot eyes. His eyes were filled with a violent aura. Is that so? Ha ha! Wang Xian roared with laughter. His figure flickered as he charged towards the 100-City Alliance leader. Attack him! Destroy this fellow! Red Ice roared when he saw Wang Xian charging towards them. Over 30 second-order universe sovereigns did not hesitate as they charged towards Wang Xian. Courting death. Do you think our Dragon King is someone you can attack? The Water Tentacle King, who was lying on Wang Xian's shoulder, spoke plainly. She moved and charged towards a group of experts from the 100-City Alliance. Water explosion! She bellowed. Suddenly, many water balls appeared around the universe ruler level experts in front of her. The water balls exploded instantly. Arg! In an instant, over 100 universe sovereigns were killed by the Water Tentacle King. What? The sudden attack from the Water Tentacle King stunned the 100-City Alliance leader. Such an attack, such a terrifying attack. There were even third-order universe sovereigns? How was that possible? Fuck! This? Hee. Wang Xian chuckled. He dashed towards the 100 Cities Alliance Master at a terrifying speed. Haha, a bunch of trash. Dogs of dogs. The Water Tentacle King laughed maniacally as she roared with killing intent. To her, the 100-City Alliance was the dog of the Sacred Dragon bloodline. And the Sacred Dragon bloodline was the dog of the Angel clan. The dog of a dog, die! Oh no, this is a third-order universe sovereign realm demonic beast. Alliance leader, save us. At this moment, the universe sovereigns from the 100-City Alliance were shocked. There were even third-order universe sovereigns? There were 5 of them? Save them? The 100-City Alliance leader shuddered when he saw this scene. He was controlling the array to fight against the 3 third-order universe sovereigns from the Dragon Palace. He still had to fight against Wang Xian, who was charging towards him. This was already his limit. Why would he save them? Hold on, I'll kill this Dragon King immediately. The 100-City Alliance leader roared as he moved his palm. At this moment, he could no longer hide. The strongest attack, the strongest Khanate Cardinal Treasure. Khanate Cardinal Treasure, Yellow Heavy Kill Talisman. With the Yellow Heavy Kill Talisman in his hand, he charged towards Wang Xian. Heavy. The Yellow Heavy Kill Talisman expanded as the 100-City Alliance leader roared. On the Yellow Heavy Kill Talisman, the word heavy shone brightly and a yellowish glow enveloped the surroundings. Huh! This is Khanate Cardinal Treasure? Wang Xian could feel the aura of the Yellow Heavy Kill Talisman and his eyes narrowed. You don't have any helpers, but you have an Khanate Cardinal Treasure. Is this your trump card? He murmured as his eyes flickered. Chapter 35-28 Wang. A grayish-yellowish aura shrouded the surroundings. Instantly, Wang Xian felt a strong gravitational force falling on him. This gravitational force was not the kind of terrifying attraction force, but the kind of pressure that came from all directions. Instantly, Wang Xian could sense that his speed had been greatly restricted. Ling Ling! Wang Xian bellowed and Ling Ling appeared beside him. Ling Ling! Ling Ling looked around and waved the water lotus staff in her hand. The yellowish aura around her slowly moved away. What? The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance was shocked to see the appearance of Ling Ling and the fact that the attack of the inborn Cardinal Treasure was slightly neutralized. What's that? He couldn't help but bellow. Tai Chi Dragon Coil! Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He moved and the Tai Chi Dragon Coil spun around him as he charged towards the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. Ling Ling waved the water lotus staff and continuously expelled the surrounding yellow aura. This did not hinder Wang Xian's speed in the slightest. Damn it! What's that? Heavy Kill Talisman! Heavy! The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance was in disbelief as he roared again. Waves of yellow aura pressed towards Wang Xian. The Tai Chi Dragon Coil spun rapidly, and waves of ink-like energy blasted towards the surroundings. Ling Ling also waved her staff to fend off the yellow aura. The Tai Chi Dragon Coil and the companion spirit had completely fended off the attack of the inborn Cardinal Treasure. Swoosh! Wang Xian flapped his unparalleled sacred wings and instantly appeared before the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. His dragon claws clawed at him. This speed! The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance narrowed his eyes when he saw this. The inborn Cardinal Treasure in his hand was useless. The blood-red eyes on his body shone brightly and a blood moon appeared in the air. Around this blood moon, an incomparably terrifying dark demon dragon slowly appeared. The blood moon hung high in the sky and shone on Wang Xian. The demonic dragon swayed and charged towards Wang Xian. Bam! However, these attacks were a little too slow. Wang Xian's dragon claws landed on the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance. The dragon scales on the leader of the 100 Cities Alliance shone brightly as he resisted the attack head-on. Bam! A huge collision sound was heard, and he directly spat out a mouthful of blood. Roar! The dark demonic dragon in the sky charged towards Wang Xian. Buzz! Wang Xian's body trembled as dark ghosts charged forward. Boom! The sound of a collision could be heard. The dark demon dragon was easily blocked. No, what the hell is this? The leader of the 100 Cities Alliance glared at him and roared. This dark demon dragon had the support of the Red Eye and the Array formation. It was absolutely terrifying. However, a phantom flew out from the Dragon King's body and easily blocked it. What? Buzz! While the 100 City Alliance master was still in a daze, a shadow of light and darkness appeared behind him. The 100 City Alliance master didn't notice the strange figure appearing. The sharp dagger landed on his body and cut off a piece of his flesh. The 100 City Alliance leader's hair stood on end, and his forehead was covered in cold sweat. But to his astonishment, that figure attacked and instantly flew backward. What is this? The 100 City Alliance leader's eyes were wide open as he roared in disbelief. Just now, he thought he was going to be severely injured. In the end, the other party merely injured him and cut off a piece of his flesh. This made him feel extremely lucky. In fact, it wasn't that roving demon didn't want to injure him severely. Instead, he was surrounded by a khaki energy, which greatly reduced his speed. He could only maintain that uncanny speed for a moment. But it would be enough if he could get a piece of the other party's flesh. Seeing roving demons attack, Wang Xian revealed a smile. He didn't continue to attack. Instead, he hovered in the air in front of him and looked around with a smile. 100 City Alliance leader, before you die, take a look around and see how your 100 Cities Alliance will be destroyed, he said emotionlessly, his eyes filled with contempt and mockery. Today, he wouldn't be able to escape. Upon hearing Wang Xian, the 100 City Alliance leader immediately looked around. The array formation of the 100 City Peak had been activated. The strongest were the 108 peaks, and each peak could unleash terrifying attacks. But now, the peaks started to crumble, and the Xiantian treasures were being taken away. Without his control, the attacks of the array were extremely weak. Under the attacks of 3 third-order universe sovereigns, it crumbled rapidly. Perhaps in a few dozen seconds at most, the 108 mountain peaks would completely collapse. Below them, the terrifying demonic beast was massacring the 100 City Alliance's universe sovereigns. Over 300 universe ruler-level experts couldn't stop her. Every second, over a dozen universe sovereigns were killed. They weren't her match at all. In front of them, the Dragon Palace's army charged over. His heart sank, and he felt despair. At the very front, there was another third-order universe sovereign. His body trembled, and all eyes stared at Wang Xian. How many third-order universe sovereigns do you have? Why does the Dragon Palace have so many experts? The 100 City Alliance leader's body trembled as he stared at Wang Xian and roared. His face was filled with malevolence and madness. How many third-order universe sovereigns had been exposed? What could the 100 City Alliance use to defend against so many experts? They're too strong. Alliance leader, they're too strong. We're no match for them. No, no, no. Run, run, all disciples and experts of the Glaze Honeycomb City, run now. Run back to your divine kingdom. Alliance leader, we can't hold on any longer. Run, all disciples and experts, run now. At this time, screams of agony could be heard. Run! The Dragon Palace's strength wasn't something they could defend against. It wasn't something the 100 City Alliance could defend against. They had too many top-notch experts. Some of the city lords even ordered their disciples and experts to run. With one city lord taking the lead, more and more city lords followed suit. Some experts looked over at the 100 City Alliance leader, and when they saw that he couldn't do anything to the Dragon King, they felt despair. Run! This time, the 100 City Alliance leader was completely defeated. They swore that they would never go against the Dragon Palace, and would never participate in a war again. Look, the experts and disciples of the 100 City Alliance are trying to escape. Wang Xian's gaze swept across, landing on the 100 City Alliance leader, and his eyes were filled with ridicule. However, it won't be that easy for them to escape. He added another sentence indifferently. Just as he finished speaking, clouds appeared out of nowhere in the sky above 100 City Peak. A special energy enveloped the entire 100 City Peak. Chapter 35-29 1. A unique cloud appeared in the sky above the 100 Cities Peak. A space-locking energy enveloped the entire 100 Cities Peak. The 100 Cities Alliance leader felt the energy of the array when he saw the sudden appearance of the cloud. His body trembled violently. This array was definitely created by a third-order universe sovereign realm sorcerer. There were more third-order universe sovereigns around them? There were more? How many were there already? What kind of enemy did they offend? The 100 Cities Alliance leader was initially confident that he could annihilate the Dragon Palace. Who would have thought that this would happen? The other party charged over with unparalleled strength. The 100 Cities Alliance leader felt his vision turning black as his body trembled violently. How many third-order universe sovereigns does the Dragon Palace have? How many do you have? He widened his eyes as he stared at Wang Xian and bellowed. Now, he was in despair. The strength of the Dragon Palace and the Dragon King were too terrifying. Oh no, 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 I can't return to my holy kingdom. The space around us has been sealed. It's over. The surrounding space has been sealed. We can't escape. We can't escape. There's a teleportation array on the peak. Let's escape through the teleportation array. Quick, use the teleportation array to escape! When the cloud shrouded the entire region, the countless experts and disciples of the 100 Cities Alliance widened their eyes as their hearts crumbled. This area of space was actually sealed. Facing the unparalleled strength of the Dragon Palace, death awaited them if they couldn't escape. They didn't want to die. They wanted to escape. They wanted to escape in a frenzy. The only way to escape now was through the teleportation array. Don't let the disciples of the 100 Cities Alliance who are above the universe supremacy realm escape. Wang Xian looked down. There were over 80 cities within the 100 Cities peak, and there were too many disciples and experts. Densely packed. Some wanted to escape through the teleportation array. As there were too many of them, Wang Xian didn't want to kill too many of them. However, those above the universe supremacy realm could forget about escaping. Firstly, their corpses were resources. Secondly, it was to prevent them from taking revenge on the Dragon Palace in the future. As for those below the universe supremacy realm, the Dragon Palace could totally ignore them. It's the Dragon King. Everyone kill him! Jia jia jia, our Dragon King is merciful. The weak can live, but those above the venerable realm can forget about escaping. If you dare to escape, our attacks will hurt the weak. Don't blame us for being cruel! Yamada Demon Fiend and the others roared. In the 100 City Alliance, the universe ruler level experts were being suppressed by the Water Tentacle King. The rest of the armies of the 100 Cities Alliance were like vegetables on the chopping board to the Dragon Palace army. Slaughtered at will. There weren't any experts with the combat strength of a universe ruler. The Yamata no longer had the combat strength of a third-order universe ruler. He hadn't even made a move yet. Completely and utterly crushed. No, no, no! When the universe supremacies heard this, their faces were filled with despair. They wanted to fly towards the teleportation formations on the mountain peaks, but they were directly shot to death by arrows. That terrifying shockwave also directly killed some of the weaker cultivators. It could be said that these weaklings were killed by them. Sometimes, in war, the weak are innocent. But because of their standpoint, they had to pay the price. They were like commoners. It was already good enough that Wang Xian didn't kill them. If it were a war between different races, it would have resulted in the annihilation of the entire race. Just like the war between the ancestral dragon bloodline and the sacred dragon bloodline. That was a true war of annihilation. As long as they were the disciples of the other party, regardless of their strength, age, they would be killed. Dragon King, even if I die today, I'll kill you! The 100 Cities Alliance leader's body trembled violently when he saw this almost certain outcome, and he roared in a stern voice. With a flick of his hand, the word kill on the yellow kill talisman shone brightly. The earthy yellow energy in the surroundings gradually gathered together, forming the word kill, with terrifying energy. Huh! When Wang Xian saw the inborn cardinal treasure releasing its aura again, he narrowed his eyes and looked over coldly. Even if I die, I'll kill you! The 100 City Alliance leader bellowed. Yellow kill talisman, kill! When the word kill was formed, it locked onto Wang Xian. At this moment, Wang Xian had a feeling that the word kill had locked onto him, as though it had been imprinted between his eyebrows. This was a very creepy feeling. This was the power of an inborn cardinal treasure. Your attack is a little too late. Wang Xian looked at the 100 City Alliance leader quietly, and said something that he couldn't understand. Die! At this moment, the 100 City Alliance leader didn't listen to Wang Xian. He controlled the inborn cardinal treasure to attack him. SSS. Just as the yellow kill talisman was about to attack Wang Xian, the head of the 100 City Alliance leader cracked open slowly. Out of nowhere, it cracked open in an extremely creepy manner. The sudden and creepy attack caused the 100 City Alliance leader to widen his eyes in horror. Arg! No, no, no! What is this? Feeling the horrifying attack invading his body, the 100 City Alliance leader broke down completely. What kind of attack was this? Why was it so creepy? It was unbelievable. Even a curse wouldn't be this creepy. His head cracked open slowly and the yellow kill talisman he was controlling trembled slightly. Wang Xian looked at the alliance leader of the 100 Cities Alliance quietly, watching as his body was gradually torn apart. He stared at Wang Xian with widened eyes as his body trembled uncontrollably. His ferocious face was filled with despair. Today, I'll perish together with the 100 City Alliance. A neutral force had to join the war with the divine dragon lineage because of greed. You're asking for it. Wang Xian stared coldly at the 100 City Alliance leader and said calmly. Upon hearing his words, the 100 City Alliance leader closed his eyes slowly. All his indignation and anger had turned into helplessness at this moment. Defeated. Utterly defeated. Buried with the entire 100 City Alliance. But there was no chance for him to do it again. His life force slowly disappeared, and he fell to the ground. The Alliance leader is dead! Our Alliance leader is dead! At this moment, a loud exclamation sounded. All the surrounding experts and disciples of the 100 City Alliance lost their will to fight. The Alliance leader was dead. The Alliance leader whom they were confident of annihilating the Dragon Palace was dead. Under the attack of the Dragon Palace, he didn't even have the chance to retaliate. The gap between them and the Dragon Palace was too huge. It's over. We're completely finished. Some of the city lords were filled with despair when they saw the situation. There was no hope of survival. Chapter 35:30. Arg! Screams rang out incessantly. The death of the Alliance leader was a huge blow to all the experts and disciples of the 100 Cities Alliance. Some of the 100 Cities Alliance's army had already given up resisting and were waiting for death. Not long ago, they were still clamoring to destroy the Dragon Palace. Now, what awaited them was death. Life was unpredictable. At this moment, they realized that making an enemy of the Dragon Palace was the worst decision they had ever made. It was their choice to walk towards death. With the resistance reduced, the Dragon Palace's attack did not stop. One by one, the supremacies of the 100 Cities Alliance were slain. There were more than 80 cities. How terrifying was the number of elite experts that they had. It was no exaggeration to say that the number of supremacies of the 100 Cities Alliance was 5 times that of the Dragon Palace. It was the quality, not the quantity. For the Dragon Palace to have the quality they had today, it was because they had destroyed several cities of the 100 Cities Alliance and the Diabolus clan. And the other party was still 5 times that of the Dragon Palace. Apart from that, they had close to 400 Universe Lords, which was 3 times that of the Dragon Palace. But now, they were being slain rapidly. The 100 Cities Alliance was swiftly annihilated. Wang Xian looked over. With a swift move, he flew towards the heavy kill mystery talisman. This was a connate cardinal treasure, one that was full of power and mysteriousness. This was an earth attribute connate cardinal treasure. He flew over and immediately grabbed the yellow kill talisman in his hand. Wang! Suddenly, when Wang Xian grabbed the talisman with his palm, a horrifying force of light flew out from the talisman. What? When Wang Xian sensed the horrifying power of light, his expression changed. Tai Chi Dragon Coil! he roared, and the Tai Chi dragon coil covered the yellow kill talisman. Bam! But at this moment, a pair of wings of light appeared around the yellow kill talisman. The wings of light carried the yellow kill talisman and flew towards the west. The Tai Chi dragon coil was easily smashed through. This is... At the sight of this, Wang Xian's face darkened. This Khanate cardinal treasure had been set up by a universe lord. This was to prevent the Khanate cardinal treasure from being lost. A Khanate cardinal treasure was a treasure even to the top races in the universe. Many universe ruler realm experts did not even have their own Xiantian cardinal treasures. Looking at the inborn cardinal treasure flying away, Wang Xian knew he couldn't stop it. He shook his head speechlessly. The methods of a peak race in the universe were still not something he could withstand. However, the harvest this time was enough. His gaze swept across the surroundings. The battle was about to end. After keeping the corpse of the Alliance leader, Wang Xian made a move and flew towards the central peak at the bottom. He could sense that the 100-City Alliance leader's Cosmos God Empire was within this mountain. After entering the mountain peak, he headed straight for the 100-City Alliance leader's Divine Kingdom. The 100 Cities Alliance leader's Divine Kingdom wasn't very big, but there were many treasures inside. This time, the Dragon Palace will receive a huge upgrade. Moreover, the 108 primordial spiritual treasures will be enough for the 5 elements grindstone to achieve a breakthrough. Wang Xian searched the Holy Kingdom of the 100 Cities Alliance leader with excitement written all over his face. The war with the 100 Cities Alliance had lasted for more than 10 years. Today, they were finally annihilated. After annihilating them, the strength of the Dragon Palace was enough to reach the top of the peak in the universe. I wonder if it can be compared to the ancestral dragon bloodline or the sacred dragon bloodline, he murmured to himself. This time, the Dragon Palace could add 4 to 5 third-order universe sovereigns to the Dragon Palace. 4 to 5 in addition to the current number of third-order universe sovereigns. As for Wang Xian's own strength, he wasn't sure if he could go head-to-head with a true universe sovereign. Even if he wasn't a match for the other party, he shouldn't be killed so easily. Of course, the prerequisite was that the other party didn't have any inborn cardinal treasure. Inborn cardinal treasure was still a little too mysterious. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? At the same time, in the far east of the 100-City Peak, a dozen experts were floating in the void. In front of them was a telescope, a powerful telescope from the world of science and technology. The world of science and technology was the pinnacle of science and technology in the universe. They were the strongest experts in the world of science and technology. They were also the only power with science and technology in the chaotic continent. It could be said that in one aspect, the world of science and technology was monopolized. And this telescope could see extremely far away places. Through the telescope, they could clearly see the battle at the 100-City Peak. They saw the experts of the Dragon Palace killing their way to the 100-City Peak and saw the 100 Cities Alliance being slaughtered easily. Yes, it was an easy slaughter. As they were too far away, they couldn't sense the power of the battle and naturally didn't know the strength of the other party. But through the telescope, they could see that the battle was completely one-sided. It was even an easy crushing. The 100 Cities Alliance didn't even have the strength to resist. The powerful 100 Cities Alliance master had been slain in a strange way. From the beginning to the end of the battle, it was extremely short, so short that it was unbelievable. What kind of power was the 100 Cities Alliance? Even though the Dragon Palace had destroyed many cities, there were still over 80 cities in the Alliance. The strength of their alliance was equivalent to the combined strength of over 80 high-level races. It was definitely a terrifying force. But now, they were slaughtered easily. This battle seemed to be an unfair slaughter. From the beginning to the end, it took less than 10 minutes. Annihilation in 10 minutes was simply unbelievable to them. Is this the strength of the Dragon Palace? The 100 Cities Alliance was annihilated so easily. This is the 100 Cities Alliance, a power that stood in our chaos continent for close to 10 billion years. It was annihilated just like that. Just how strong is the Dragon Palace? Just how many experts do they have? over 10 experts roared in disbelief. One of them immediately sent the news they saw to the Universe AI. At first, no one believed it. Isn't this news a joke? Not long ago, the 100 Cities Alliance announced that they would annihilate the Dragon Palace. How could the 100 Cities Alliance be annihilated by the Dragon Palace now? Did the Dragon Palace have the strength to do so? When the Dragon Palace appeared, it obviously didn't. And just when many people were in disbelief, a series of messages suddenly burst out. These messages were all released by the weaklings that escaped from the 100 City Peak through the teleportation formation. The annihilation of the 100 Cities Alliance, and the deaths of their experts, made them completely homeless. They were wantonly venting on the Universe AI system, publicizing it. When the disciples of the other factions saw the large amounts of news, their eyes widened. It was filled with disbelief. Chapter 35-31 News of the 100 Cities Alliance being wiped out spread like wildfire on the AI. Especially when the person who published the news claimed that it was Dragon Palace who wiped out the 100 Cities Alliance. Many found it inconceivable and unbelievable. However, as time passed, after 5 to 6 hours, images started to appear on the AI. The images were of the 100 City Peak. These images were taken by the dozens of experts. They only dared to come to the 100 City Peak after all the experts from Dragon Palace had left. Over at the 100 City Peak, many peaks had collapsed due to the battle. However, only a few dozen had collapsed. This was because Dragon Palace had completely crushed the 100 Cities Alliance. The battle was tragic for the 100 Cities Alliance, but it wasn't tragic for Dragon Palace at all. Instead, they had easily wiped out the 100 Cities Alliance without much fighting. As a result, the battlefield was not as tragic as it seemed. However, when the images from the 100 City Peak were uploaded to the AI, many immediately recognized that it was the old nest of the 100 Cities Alliance, the 100 City Peak. At this moment, there were no living beings inside, and it looked desolate. Below, there was some fresh blood, but not much blood. A one-sided battle. It was an easy one-sided battle. Dragon Palace's Dragon King and his group of experts flew to the 100 City Summit and easily killed the 100 City Alliance chief. The 300 over-universe rulers on the 100 City Summit didn't even have the ability to resist. What we want to know now is, why is Dragon Palace so strong? On this image, there was a line of questions. This news was the hammer for the 100 Cities Alliance to be wiped out. They were really wiped out, completely wiped out. The 100 City Peak was the headquarters of the 100 Cities Alliance. The 100 City Alliance leader was a powerful sorcerer. As a sorcerer, he had managed the 100 City Peak for billions of years. His strength was at the Third Order Universe Lord realm, and with his array and geographical advantage, he could easily fight against 2 or 3 experts of the same level. Even so, he was easily wiped out. How strong is Dragon Palace, to be able to kill their way to the 100 Cities Alliance's headquarters? This Dragon Palace definitely has more than 1 or 2 Third Order Universe Lords. Is this the power of Dragon Palace? Why do I feel like they are getting more and more terrifying? Isn't this too strong? I want to know if there are experts from the ancestral dragon's bloodline participating in this battle. If not, then this Dragon Palace is terrifying. On the Universe AI, the news of the 100 City Alliance's destruction was like a rock. Countless powers were discussing in shock. The power displayed by the Dragon Palace was too terrifying. The other side was the 100 Cities Alliance. However, if the ancestral dragon bloodline did not intervene, how powerful would the Dragon Palace be when all the high-level clans united? Just how strong was a force that could easily destroy the 100 Cities Alliance? The war between the ancestral dragon lineage and the sacred dragon lineage is still ongoing. I don't think the ancestral dragon lineage has helped the Dragon Palace. Since the Dragon Palace could easily annihilate the ancestral dragon lineage, the Dragon Palace can be called the third major divine dragon faction. Some experts sighed in their hearts. With such strength, they were already at the top of the higher races in the primordial continent. There were only a handful of high-level races that were more powerful than the Dragon Palace. The third major divine dragon force, the Dragon Palace, had completely risen. Just as the Universe AI was discussing about the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian and the rest had returned to the Dragon Palace. And all the treasures in the 100 Cities Alliance had been obtained by them. This time, the resources were extremely terrifying. All disciples, increase your strength immediately. I'm going to move the Dragon Palace to the Eternal River. Wang Xian stood in front of the Dragon Throne and said with a smile. Yes, Dragon King! The group of Dragon Palace leaders responded immediately. The resources obtained this time were enough to make the Dragon Palace's strength undergo an earth-shattering change. Wang Xian smiled and waved his arm. Some of the arrays that the 100 Cities Alliance used to suppress the Dragon Palace collapsed instantly. He moved and came to the top of the Dragon Palace. Following closely, he brought the Dragon Palace towards the Eternal River. The flying speed of the Dragon Palace wasn't slow under the lead of Wang Xian and the rest. However, it would still take close to 3 years to reach the Eternal River. This time would pass in the blink of an eye in the primordial continent. Wang Xian had no choice. The current location of the Dragon Palace was still at the edge of the primordial continent. It was just at the edge of the mountain Earth Sea. The distance was still too far. However, Wang Xian only needed to slightly control the direction of the Dragon Palace. Moreover, it wouldn't affect his cultivation. The Dragon Palace was flying in the mountain sea ocean. Roving heavens and the rest were around it, intimidating some of the wild beasts. With a flick of his palm, the 5 elements grindstone appeared before him. With a flick of his palm, over 308 spiritual treasures appeared before him. Connate numinous treasures were not as precious as connate cardinal treasures. There were quite a number of connate numinous treasures. Most importantly, connate numinous treasures could be forged from the body parts of powerful desolate beasts and living creatures. All the universe ruler level experts in the 100 Path Alliance had Xiantian treasures. Moreover, Wang Xian had obtained over 300 of the 5 elements. With over 300 connate numinous treasures, the 5 elements grindstone was guaranteed to break through. It was just that he didn't know if it would be able to cross a level and reach the universe ruler realm, the level of connate cardinal treasures. Sitting cross-legged in the sky above the Dragon Palace, the 5 elements grindstone was rapidly absorbing the over 300 connate spiritual treasures of the 5 elements. The 5 elements grindstone's absorption speed was very fast. It was practically 1 connate cardinal treasure a day. However, if he wanted to completely absorb it, it would still take half a year. The Dragon King and the rest have annihilated the 100 Cities Alliance. This is unbelievable. At the same time, Qing Longwei, Qing Longxuing, and the other experts from the ancestral dragon bloodline were in disbelief when they saw the message on the universe supercomputer. The 100 Cities Alliance has been annihilated? Annihilated by the Dragon Palace? How strong are the Dragon King and the rest now? Given the strength of the 100 Cities Alliance, they would need at least 3 to 4 third-order universe rulers to invade their lair and annihilate them, right? Qing Longwei clicked his tongue as he spoke in shock. At the very least, I really didn't expect the Dragon Palace to be this strong. Did they encounter some kind of opportunity to grow so quickly? Qing Longxuing also shook his head in shock. He couldn't understand it at all. However, the annihilation of the 100 Cities Alliance by the Dragon Palace is also beneficial to us. The sacred dragon bloodline and the Dragon Palace are destined to be enemies. Qing Longxuying's eyes flickered as he spoke. Qing Longwei and the rest nodded their heads. The Dragon Palace and the sacred dragon bloodline were already enemies. The stronger the Dragon Palace was, the greater the benefits to the sacred dragon bloodline. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.